What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. I was just in the middle of wrapping up a different video when the news broke less than 10 minutes ago, and coming from one of the most trusted Hollywood trades in Variety, Marvel Studios has officially delayed Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. What's more, they also changed or removed 3 or 4 untitled Marvel dates that no longer are on the Disney official theatrical release calendar. And given the latest rumors about an expanded Phase 6, this would seem to support that theory 100%. We're going to go through this entire article. We have the brand new release dates for you, talk about how far they've been moved and why it actually makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of context to this. We're breaking it all down, the official delays to Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and now the new release dates. But quickly first, if you could grab that subscribe button. Thanks to everyone who's been helping grow the community, and if you haven't already, I just kindly invite you to hit the sub button. It's the number one thing you can do to support us here at the channel, plus it enters you for the giveaways if you want. Stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so as I said, this just broke moments ago from Variety under the headline, Avengers delayed, Marvel pushes Doomsday and Secret Wars to December 2026 and 2027. They go on to report, quote, the Avengers will need a few more months to assemble. Disney has delayed the release of Marvel Studios' upcoming team-up features, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Doomsday is now set to debut on December 18th, 2026, moving about 7 months off its originally slated date of May 1st, 2026. To match up, the follow-up Avengers Secret Wars is moving its release date to December 17th, 2027, after previously being slated for May 7th, 2027. Disney announced both Avengers delays Thursday afternoon alongside a sweeping reorganization of its coming theatrical slate. Notably, the new calendar saw the studio remove several unannounced Marvel titles off its calendar. The date of February 13th, 2026, previously slotted for an untitled Marvel project, has been removed from the schedule. Meanwhile, the dates of November 6th, 2026 and November 5th, 2027, also previously set for untitled Marvel features, have been amended to simply untitled Disney films. Now, the article goes on to point out that moving Doomsday to when they have moved it now means that the only thing slated for next year until December is Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day, which we had heard was rumored to be a prequel now to Avengers Doomsday and will make a lot more sense in the timeline of the MCU. But that is not the only reason they ended up moving these films. First of which, it's sort of intrinsic to, as they explained, it's a huge theatrical slate mix-up. And so for those untitled Marvel movies that didn't have titles attached yet, don't go crying any tears for them, because there's a good chance there weren't any Marvel movies already slated for that. There were sweeping changes always coming based on a million reports over the last 2 months about Marvel shaking up their entire creative directive, and that included the films as well as TV. We're just now getting to see what that looks like, and if you add on top of that, again, what I mentioned during the prologue about the rumors of an expanded Phase 6 or giving themselves more time to shoot some other films in context of the story, that may be a silver lining of why they've moved things. But look, in that report I said there's a limited bandwidth for Marvel Studios. That's what got them in trouble in the first place, because Kevin Feige couldn't be hands-on with quality control. So while there are a ton of rumors out there right now about a Doctor Strange 3 coming out next year instead, which we just reported on days ago, etc., it doesn't seem very likely that Marvel Studios has been secretly working on scripts for films like Doctor Strange 3, and all of a sudden they're going to take their place and they're going to put out extra movies in Phase 6. More likely the case, these movies have moved because Marvel and the Russos and everybody need an extra 7 months in order to shoot them. Look, it's already well known that Marvel loves their rewrites, loves their pickup reshoots, and under the current timeline, there wasn't going to be time for any of that. Leave out all of the CGI and that stuff, just doing reshoots when you realize a scene doesn't work, or rewrites when you realize you need to change a narrative plot point. As given the current timetable with May 2026 and May 2027, there was no time for any of that. By giving themselves well into next year, that means that they can shoot principal photography, get into post, see what works, and they still have all of 2026 to do pickup shots and changes before December 2026 and December 2027. They also know that skipping that May release date that has always worked so well for the biggest Avengers dates can only be made up by putting it out in December around the holidays, the other biggest box office time of the year. So Marvel thought long and hard about this, and I think that's where all the rumors we were hearing about Spider-Man 4 being a prequel that didn't quite make sense if it was set between the two Avengers films now means it's a lot more likely that's true, because it's coming before Avengers Doomsday, doesn't have to worry about about any of that mess. It can be a ground level story like we're hearing with all these villains before we get to Doomsday. And then of course, Tom Holland will have the rest of this year, next year, outside of shooting on Spider-Man 4 to make it into Avengers Doomsday as well. Not to mention any of the contract holdouts that we have still reported for the additional cast that possibly still haven't signed while they've already started shooting. So all of this just makes sense, and from every angle. Marvel's reshuffling, the timetable of the slate in the MCU, how long it takes to shoot films that are this big and this important. And so I think it was probably a very safe bet, if you were able to get odds on something like this, to say that they were going to move again. And I wouldn't even be surprised if this isn't the last move and they end up getting moved to May of 2027 and May of 2028, just 5 months after now, the new release dates that are 7 months after the original. And look, I know fans are going to feel all sorts of ways about it getting delayed and it not coming out next year, etc. But the real fans, we don't care. We just want the movies to be as good as possible. We will wait as long as it takes. I am actually more relieved than disappointed to hear this, and I'm guessing, if I had to guess, and I will look in the comments, a lot of you feel the same way. We're still getting Spider-Man next summer, it's no big deal, and we'll wait May to December for the movies to be that much better. I already know there are going to be some out there who try to spin the headlines, Avengers Doomsday in trouble, Disney in trouble, going bankrupt, go woke, go broke, blah blah blah. Whatever, if that's your take, that's cool, but I think this is just more logic and practicality than anything. I don't think there was ever a shot in the world they were going to be able to shoot these two movies in 1 year and not need extra time for pickups. It's Marvel Studios, for crying out loud. Look at their track record with the rest of these films. Of course they were going to need 7 extra months, if not longer. But you guys, of course, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I'm sure you will. Let me know if you're disappointed or otherwise. I am all ears, as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. We're going to do that for every Marvel drop this year. There's still 5 drops this year. We've got Fantastic Four, Eyes of Wakanda, Ironheart, Marvel Zombies, and Wonder Man. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the other future giveaways at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen when there is one. So please be safe and vigilant on my channel, really any other channel where they do giveaways. And if you should ever get any spam, just to report it directly to YouTube. They're really good about deleting those accounts. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name AllFires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.